and I can't test it right now because it has a code error. So let's start there. From what I remember, what we were doing was changing the alpha of the color, which was what was recommended, or that was what I had discovered here. So let's see. Let me go back to Unity, change color alpha. Well, this is for UI, but what was that, what was that? Oh, there it is. Alpha is a component of color. Oh, this was for opacity. Opening all the wrong things in classic me fashion. That's right. So we had managed to change the color to a different color. It doesn't change between colors, but we had managed to change it. Hey, Exegs. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce your name, but it looks like executive, so that's you now. You're the executive. So this is wrong. Doesn't like this. So let's figure out what's going on. The way it tells us to do this is color.a. So it wants us to do the color. It wants us to do the alpha as a property of the color. Okay, let's figure out how we can do that. I see. That's what I tried to do here. I tried to just pull the color of the material as opposed to the color itself. So, um, or X. We could just go with X. I think that works. You're my X. Well, let's, again, clicking all the wrong things. Let's see what else we can figure out here. Let's go back to color. This doesn't give examples, so that's not super helpful. What did we get in here? Let's just kill this for now and see what else we can figure out. Did I do something wrong with syntax? No, it's fine. It really just doesn't like this. Cannot modify the return value of material.color because it is not a variable. So how should we set it to a variable? Let's do... It's obviously looking for a float. Public float. Opacity. Not going to initialize it. No, we probably should. Let's do this instead. No, how do you... So if I did it like this. Opacity... Oh, spell it right. Opacity.a. Now this has a problem because float does not contain a definition for A, and no accessible extension method A. So basically it's saying A doesn't exist for floats. So it exists for color. Color.a. Public color equals color.white. Oh! Well, that answered a question that I had. So let's try this. Just gonna basically copy that. Public color equals, let's do color dot red, because that's what we have down here. And now we're going to do render dot material dot set color. I think this is what it's called, base color equals color. And the word color already looks stupid, so next let's go ahead and do opacity. No. Opacity equals color dot A equals 0. No, I can't do it like that. Alright, let's just do it down here then. Color dot A what I want to do is figure out how to set that to a scale so that I can change it in the editor. I see. Okay, I kind of figured it was the executable. Alright, we'll go with executable. My day was chill. I woke up kind of late. Did some chores, and then started streaming. Now we're here. What about you, man? What are you up to? I know it's the end of your day. Ah, I got it. Public float opacity equals 1F, and then we'll change this to opacity. So now we can choose the scaling of the opacity through the editor. Okay, let's see what happens in Unity now. So we've got our cube. Close all this crap. So, in the script, cool. Look at all this stuff that we can change here. So now we've got the color changer and the opacity. This doesn't mean much in here, but let's go ahead and do this. So let me pop this out. Let's do a little. We'll leave this like a little preview window, and this where we can mess with this stuff. So, if we change the color to blue, there it goes. It's perfect. How about we screw with the opacity, 0.5. It's working perfectly. So, next on the list, want to try to get this to not just move in one diagonal line. We want it to bounce around on, but within the borders. Playing Switch and watching stream. Man, that sounds awesome. What are you up to on the Switch? So 0.8. Alright. So we got the colors and the opacity to work. So, as far as this guy's concerned, we've done all of these. Let's see what we can do to enhance this. Modify any of the changes above so they occur randomly each time the scene is played. Okay, we want to do that. Add extra functionality to the cube. For example, how might you change the color of the cube over time? That's a good question. Implement your changes in the code. Test the scene regularly as you work. Okay, so this is interesting. Every time you reboot the game, it's a different size. Smash Bros? Oh no. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I'm straight ass at that game. But it's still fun. So we need to... Let's get a grasp on some of the random. Unity, random... let's just run it. Random.range. Returns a float within a minimum inclusive and a maximum inclusive. Who's your mains? Mine are always just Link. Any variation of Link. I love Zelda too much to to try to play anybody else, even though it's probably bad. Oh, that's cool. If min inclusive is greater than max inclusive, the numbers are automatically swapped. Both the lower and upper bounds are inclusive. Any given float between them, including both the minimum inclusive and the maximum inclusive, will appear on the average approximately once every 10 million random samples. What? That's crazy. It really is random. There's an integer overload of this function that operates slightly differently, especially regarding the range maximum. See random for details on the algorithm and explain how Unity engine.random may be different from other random number generators. Okay. This seems helpful for what I'm trying to do, as well as informational. So let's see what we can do for this random.range. That sounds like part of what we want to get in here. I think I want the scale change to be fine, but the position change is one of those things that needs to be random. Play a different character every time. It's fair. Kind of a jack of all trades. See what you're good at, see what you're bad at. We'll do this. There's a lot of variables for this one stupid tiny script. We'll do... not public. Yeah. Public, float, random number is... Can I do random.range? Okay, random.range. Pretty sure it has to be parentheses. Tell me what to do, dog. Haha, little Mac. Float minimum inclusive, float maximum inclusive. So let's just go. So like that. Cool. So I made it. Now what the hell do I do with it? Well, let's try this. I'm thinking of a lot of different ways to do the color switching, and I probably shouldn't be because I'm trying to focus on the transformation before I focus on the colors. But I'm trying to think about this random.range and where I can apply it. Now I see these. This could be cool. Okay, what I'm thinking of doing is finding a way to implement this, which has a different way of doing the color codes as opposed to this, which is very static, even though I can set it in there. What happens if I do this here? It accepts that. So, what if I kill this? We don't have it change upon the start of the game. Although we could. Let's do this. Okay, here's my one concern about doing this. If I set each of these to a random one, is it gonna pull a different random number for every single X, Y, and Z, or is it gonna pull a random number and set it to all three? Because that's what I want. I guess we'll just have to figure it out. Before I do that, let's do the color. Let me create this below this. Because what I think I want to do is put the random number inside of the color maker. So can I do that? Is it going to let me do that all the way up here? No. A field initializer cannot reference the non-static field method. So it doesn't like that up here. But I might be able to do it down here. Right? Not sure. Let's see. That's what I'm hoping. Because it sounds like it would be more complicated to make it pull a different random every single time. So I'm just gonna trust that it's that way. Plus, we could always just test it. Let's see. We're gonna ignore that error. See what happens. Range is not allowed to be called from a mono behavior constructor. Range. Or instance field initializer. Call it an awake or start instead. Okay. So what it's saying is no, do that up here. Do that down here. So can we just pop these down here. I really didn't like that. Um, okay, no, don't do that. Don't do that shit. Um, that's strange. Let's go back to what was working before I started trying to get too complicated. Okay. So let's try it this way. Actually, I don't think I copied the right thing. Oh, Christ. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now the color should be completely random every time the game starts. And we'll get rid of this error. It shouldn't happen again. Did happen. Well, then what's it yelling at me for? Oh, because I still have this up here. That would... No. Yeah, but that's coding, man. That's that's coding. It'll get better as we get better at it, you know? Maybe. I really don't want to ask ChatGPT because I want to figure it out. But I'm starting to get a little lost. We'll put a pin in it. I like that emote. Let's hit the Google machine. Unity, randomize color over time. That's our end goal here, so let's go with that. Color randomization could work. Let's see what this has to say. Put a pause on the music and
I had a client one time.
check out this video.
He was working at somebody's house,
Okay,
and he ended up
free
getting injured.
advertisement
He
for
ended up.
them.
Alright, hello everyone. I'm going to create a small tutorial showing you how to randomize the color of a cube or any other game object that has the default material on it.
This looks useful
First off,
because
we're
he's
going to create
starting
a
from
cube.
scratch. He's also kind of doing the
I'm
same
going to
thing with
reset the transforms and
cube.
just drag it up slightly. Next, I want to move my camera to get a best view of it. So I'm going to position myself in the scene view. Click my main camera, and I can either go here and align with view, or the shortcut is Control-Shift-F. What that does is brings that camera right to where I was.
That's cool. That's a nice, useful trick. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see, does that still hold up? Oh, this is still running. Okay, you stop that. What was it that he clicked? Game object. Align with you. Man, that's cool. So basically, if you get a good view for yourself, I forgot that I did a plane. If you get a good view for yourself and you're like, I want this to be the camera, you could swap it over. That's a good trick. I like that.
Go here and next thing, my lighting is already built, but if you ever see your scene and it looks tan, as so, it doesn't look quite right. It's because your lighting's not yet built. Easy way to fix that Go to Window, Rendering, Lighting. Come over to your environment if you need to. Directional light's already in place. You're just going to generate lighting. You'll see the scene lights up just a little bit more. Next, we want to create the script that goes on this. So I'm going to add a component. I've already got a name here that I'm searching for called Color Randomize. If it does not find it,
Alright, man. Thanks for stopping by.
it'll tell you to create a new script. You could do it this way, or we could go to
Sleep tight.
scripts
Don't
and
let the
create
bed
it
bugs
here and
bite.
drag and drop it onto the object. Either way is fine. The only problem with creating it here is when you do this, it does not automatically place it into your script folder. You're going to have to do that yourself. So once that finalizes, go back. Color randomize is outside of our script folder. We could just drag and drop it right in there. And we're good to go. Next, we're going to open this up. Visual Studio. They've got a really easy thing for this, for our color randomize. They've got a function we can use. So what I'm going to do is create a new function called change color. And inside of this, we're going to call that function.
Thanks, man.
But before we can do that, I'm going to need a reference to this cube's mesh renderer. I need this renderer and this material here. So we'll make it a public mesh renderer. Call it mesh renderer. Easy enough.
I think that's in our... Yeah, there we go. So it does call it. That's good.
In start, we can either grab this by doing a get component. The easiest way to do it right now, since it's a small script, we could go right back in Unity after it loads. Here we go. And you can see now it has a mesh renderer. We could drag this and drop it right in there. But I want to show you something. If you do not do that, what will happen? So once we have this reference, what I want to do is on input dot get key down, key code space. So anytime I press space, I want it to call this new function I just created. Change color. And within change color here, we'll do mesh render dot material dot color equals random. And the first one that pops up is color HSV. And it randomizes the color for you.
Oh.
Close that out. So now, if I do not fill this in, nothing will happen. I'll show you what I mean. Click play. And as I go to hit space, nothing happens, but we do get an error down here telling us that we do not have, it's a no reference. So I can press space as many times as I want, nothing's going to happen. The way we fix that is we need to tell it what mesh renderer we wish to use. Drag and drop that in there, press play again, and now when I press space, it randomizes the color. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. This is easier than trying to set random values from 0 to 255 for each one. Another thing we could do, we can have it change color immediately on start. And since this is using a space bar, I can duplicate this cube and it will do this across however many I wish. Now if I press play, all three would be different colors based on randomization.
Cool.
Same thing happens if I now press space. Easy enough.
Okay.
And that will conclude this tutorial. Thank you.
So, God, shut up. So that makes sense for changing the color randomly. Can we do, so we have material.color, new color. What if we go, let's take this one out of commission for a second. So in here, uh, how did he do it? Random. Well, first he spelled it right, of course. Random dot color HSV. What's he got? And alpha ranges. A random color with HSV and alpha values in the inclusive input ranges. Needs parentheses. Okay, so let's save this. Let's run it by clicking all of the wrong things. And just to make this shut up, put this in here for now. Also save, come back over here. I didn't really, I wouldn't say I learned coding because I'm still learning it. Um, I kind of tried, I had an interest in picking it up, so I watched some starter tutorials here and there on various languages like Python and C Sharp for Unity, and I kind of just picked up on the aspects of them, like understanding some basic principles like syntax and variables. But honestly, what taught me the most about I'm balding, huh? Anyway, what taught me the most about coding was using PowerShell at work because it kind of forced me to use the syntax and the variables in ways that like I had a goal to accomplish out of them, so I had to figure out what was necessary. Um, so that's kind of how I started with it, but after seeing that it's not so easy or not so hard to keep learning these concepts, I kind of just wanted to double down on it. And I'm guessing Lonus Ranger is Jacob, and it says he's a possible ban evader. That's crazy. So let's see your color. It looks ugly. Let's run it again. It did pick a different color, kind of similar, but bro, I just showered. Shave off your head so you can look like Humpty Dumpty. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see your hairline. Let's see your body count. You on here trolling all day. You ain't got no bitches. Gotta lock in. You wondering why you ain't getting no motion. Back to this. So we got our color changed randomly. Um, Next we need to get it to do it over time. Is your father bald? You know, if you're gonna come in here talking all this shit, the least you could do is follow. So, oh shit. Well, put your money where your mouth is, I guess. Now let's do Unity color change over time. Just talking about male hair loss. You projecting or? It happens to most men. Uh, yeah, you're right. There is nothing to be ashamed of. The only problem is uh, most of my hair is hidden behind my headphones here. So, I'm not ashamed, and I'm not losing my hair. So I have a game object. I want to change its color from green to red and change it back from red to green. Game object, starting position, don't care. Game object will move back to its original position after the movement or another period over some seconds. Prove me wrong and pull up your hair. Now, the following script is attached to the game object. There's no arrows and nothing happens. Scared. Yes. Horrified. You got me. There's no errors and nothing happens. Do it and I will donate $10. I don't even think I have donations set up. Please advise what I'm missing. Your code is missing something very important. Color.lerp. Oh, I've seen the lerp before. That's the interpolation. Color.lerp. Okay, so it has the color that it wants to change from, the color that it wants to change to, over a duration. It says you're not applying it anywhere. You should change the render.material.color of the game object. Issue 2 is that you are trying to use color.lerp, which is very limiting. Ooh, this looks like a good answer. How old am I? I'm in my 20s, bud. You should change the render.material.color of the game object. Issue 2 is that you're trying to use color.lerp, which is very limiting. It only works with time.time. Hence, it needs a lot of hack in order to work. I don't want to use animations. And call the proper animation that changes the color when the condition is met. What? What is this, a fucking advertisement? You coming in here trying to sell something by insulting me? Okay, okay. Take your advice and take it somewhere else. All I know is I don't even know how to pronounce that. They gotta invest some more money in their marketing department. Get some new hires in there. So, so let's see what the difference is. If transform position dot y is less than or equal to -9. Hell the chat for bullying. It's about time. Ooh, damn. I don't understand this part. See, I feel like this is useful, but I think I need to find another one. How to gradually change color of an object using color.lerp. Yeah, this makes sense. It would look like a rape victim. Stop making that face. Man, some people are just built different, huh? Using color.lerp, but I need it to gradually change, like slowly. Float t equals time.time minus start time times speed. Engine body renderer. Dot material dot color color lerp start color end color t. So maybe I just need to figure out this colored lerp. Let's go here and oh boy. Hmm. If you ban me, I win. I don't think it really matters. What a guy. Imagine thinking you have that much authority, running around saying, I'm gonna bully you and you can't ban me because I'll win? Who cares? Anyway, back to this. Color.lerp. So the color does change, just not slowly. What am I missing? You call change engine color only once in start. You should call it an update as well to call it every frame. In your solution, the method is run only once. Right, that's what that one just said. Here's how I usually do it. So they do it with this I enumerator. I had this saved here because I was trying to figure out what this was. I only lightly understand it. Um, By creating a coroutine, this code will run asynchronously beside the rest of the code with yield return null. It will loop the same speed as your update function, so essentially you create an isolated update method that runs every frame and will gradually change the color every frame. Asynchronously is a bit misleading here. How so? Coroutines do run asynchronously from a code perspective. You need to handle them conceptually like you would a true asynchronous code. Okay, that's getting confusing, so I'm gonna roll that back. Um, Thanks for the follow, Verity. Let's just let's just try something and see what happens. So we want to do it in update color.lerp. How? Unity color.lerp. So public static color lerp, color A, color B, and float T. T is clamped between 0 and 1. When T is 0, it returns A. When T is 1, it returns B. It's not sounding like it wants to do what I want it to do. The code sample sets the color of a game object's material to a value between black and white based on the amount of time that has elapsed. Okay, so it sounds like what I need it to do is pick random color A, pick random color A, sorry, pick random color A, pick random color B, get it to transition between color A and color B over a time, and then pick a new color A and a new color B. So it sounds like this is useful, it's just not all in one. Um, but now I have to figure out how to put it in. So let's see. Color, lerped color equals color dot white. Renderer. It's got to be the mesh. Render equals get component renderer, whatever. Lerped color equals it's like almost there. The logic's almost there. Let me see. So this says material.color equals random.color HSV, but I might need this somewhere else so that I can have a color A and a color B. Ah. Okay. Let me run it back. We need to get two colors, color A, color B. It needs to switch between color A, color B over time, and then it needs to basically start that again. So what if it it is a coroutine that has to run for the color changing? I think that is what I have to go with here, because I don't think I can squeeze it all into the update. So let's try this. Um, I enumerator I have to shit. I have to figure out how to do this. Let's look at this one. Maybe I'll reference that other private enumerator. Change color. Okay, step one. Step two. It does put it all in brackets. I think I see more. I think I'm understanding this one more. Why is this so hard? It's probably not. Okay, that's it. I'll give up on it and just ask. I was thinking needs to have a color A and a color B, then lerp between those, then the color B needs to become color A, so a new color B can be chosen. And then lerp to that, repeating the cycle. Can you help? You're right on track. Okay, so man. Yeah, like I was right there, but I was missing this. So it's saying that at the start it wants to initialize those colors, and it wants to apply color A. So let's see what needs to happen after that. It does set a coroutine, but not with. Wait, no, that's not a coroutine. What is this? Function. It's a function. Um, it does create another function. Target renderer dot material dot color equals color lerp color A color B T. Oh, I see. And then color A equals color B. So let me apply this to mine. We don't want this. Let's do, what did it say? Private private color. For some reason, color seems weird. Man, private color, change color. So within this, let me read it one more time. In the start, set initialize the colors. Also, target render dot material color equals color A. So we're setting the colors as random, and we are setting the color of the material as soon as it starts. So in start, this is close, but this does need to come out so that we can do color A. Wait. God. Yeah, it just has it in here. Let me just grab these. Color A doesn't exist. Did it put it up at the top and I didn't see? Yes. So let me kill this. Let me get rid of this. So we need public color, color A, public color, color B. And now we've got those referenced. This broke because I deleted the opacity thing, so let me just kill that. Now the get random color, that is our function. Wait, is that the function that it wants at the bottom? Yeah, it is. So next, return new color, random.value, random.value, random.value. I don't think I understand this. No, wait, yeah, I do. Because when we had it as the color, it's like this. Random value, and then I guess there's another one in there that's random value. So let me just... shit. Okay. Change color, parentheses, didn't like that. Drop the brackets. Drop this in here. It really doesn't like that, so where is this putting it? Outside void update, inside the public class. That's kind of where I have it, no? Yes. So why don't you like it? Must declare a body because it is not marked up. So what if I just bye? Nope. Not a fan of that either. All right, back to the drawing board here. Private color. Oh, don't tell me it's because of you. uh, fucking coding, dude. So then instead these need to be change color. So, with these in here, mm, let me just pop these on top. So we've got the, actually, I'm probably gonna want this on top as well. So we've got the transform change, okay, wait, I have two position changes? Oh, this one sets it as something static first, and then, what am I doing, bro? Oh well. Um, I'll leave it there since it's working. Next thing is we need to set the color of the object. Always fun to figure out your own mistakes. Yeah, I don't know if fun's the right word. Because it's frustrating, but then when you get there, you're like, should have known that. That's how we get better, though. So let's see. Now we need to set the color. And what it was saying was, yeah, target renderer dot material dot color color A. So in this case, we have our renderer set just as renderer, so I'm pretty sure it needs to be renderer dot, press all the wrong keys, material dot color equals color A. Nice. I love that autofill. So I want to understand this. Oh, with RGB components. Okay. Yeah, because I've seen a couple different ways that it does colors. Some of them is just setting them, some of them is using the inspector to pick a color, and some of them is just using like the word of the color. RGB's fine. So far it's given me some pretty ugly colors, but okay. So, excuse me. Next, it wants this, the lerp duration. How long it takes between getting from color 1 to color 2. And then in the update, lerp time, adding time, lerp time divided by lerp duration. Interesting. I think alternatively, I can stick this in place of t instead of trying to set it, but that might be wrong. Let's take a look. Right, hang on, I need to understand one more thing. If time is greater than 1f, once we reach color B, make it color A, and then pick a new color B. Right. What am I not understanding? Something is not working right in my brain. Maybe it's the two sides thing. Let's try this. I think I need to see both. So we did this port. We did this part where we set the colors, including this. You know what? Let me just see what it does first. Try that. Okay, so it picked a color. Right, and that's what we're working on next is changing between new colors. And it's still moving in that stupid diagonal line. But let's come back over here, and so it wants to put this in update right here. I really hate to just copy paste. I want to know what I'm doing. So I do understand this. Lerp time, we're adding time to the lerp time, but this is set as a... I just don't get the lerp time and the lerp duration. To control the speed. Why does it have both lerp time and lerp duration? I don't understand the difference. Oh boy. Now I get two pieces of information here. Kind of useful. It's subtle but important distinction. Duration is a fixed value that determines how long the entire transition should take. Lerp time is a running timer. I see. So one's tracking time and one's tracking the limit of the time. Every frame we add the time to track its progress, right? So this line gives you a value between 0 and 1, which is exactly what color lerp expects. I remember reading that. So when lerp time is 0, t equals 0, meaning it's at start color A. This is good. This is a good explanation. I think this is helping. When lerp time is at 1, it is... Okay. Yeah, I guess because of the math, that makes sense. It's halfway between there. So, okay, so by setting the duration, I can choose how quick that transition is because I'm changing the limit, which changes how much the time is impacting the color change over time. Okay, I think this makes more sense. And I didn't bother to read the second one, so I'm just going to pick the first one. Now, using this knowledge, let's throw this back to the side. And let's get this in here. First, add to my abhorrently large list of variables and to public float lerp time. No, once it's private. Did you try rebooting it? Bro, always. I'm gonna reboot you next. Public float lerp. Not what I typed. Lerp duration. And it actually wants this as private, which makes sense. We don't want to change the time because it needs to be a specific time. Now, down in update, we want to... God. Moving positions. Watching this while I sort Pokemon cards. Have you been building your collection there? With random drunk purchases in the middle of the night? Pack openings? Correct. Oh boy, you and Robinson. Transform local scale. So this is changing it. Now we're gonna do moving position, rotating position, changing colors. So this is the line here. Now, okay. So because this is an update, that means it's going to update per frame, which is what we need to change lerp time. Plus equals time dot delta time. It wants to set the t to a variable, but I really don't think that's necessary because I think it can be included all in one line. So let's go with renderer.material.color equals, so this is the actual function, color.lerp with color A, color B, and then since I don't think T needs to be explicitly put in here, let's go with lerp time divided by lerp duration. Okay, cool. I was right. So we don't need it set to a variable for t. I think this is actually more readable than adding another variable, so I want to do it this way. So now we need this function to set the colors appropriately. So if I think I can just put this in here as well. If shit, just gotta spell it right. If lerp time divided by lerp duration is greater than or equal to 1, then we need to set color A to color B. We need to also change color B to a new color. And we do this with our function that we built at the bottom, except I'm spelling everything wrong. Change color. Whoa, I want you in my if. Why don't you like that? Oh, 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 need the parentheses. I don't understand the parentheses yet. It's like it specifies a body, but there's nothing in it. So what does it need it for? And then we want to set the lerp time back to 0 so it can start this loop over again. 0f. Stop taking it away from me, man. Oh, that's why I did it, because I need my brackets. No. No. Color A. Color B. You know what? Fine. Fuck you. Keep it. No. I lied. I want it here. No, I don't. Make up your mind, bro. So then in this case, I don't need this line anymore because this is going to take care of the color changing for me. So this is moving position, this is rotating position, this is changing colors, and this is changing the scale. Let me add a comment here that says function responsible for picking random colors. I have insert on. I hate insert. Okay, so thank you. Bye. Don't think we need this or this or this. Let's come back to here. We've got all of these accomplished, and we've got some level of randomness, and we've got the changing color over time. So let's give this a save, go back to Unity, and see what happens. Oh, shit. I was afraid of that. So let's change the duration to like 2. No, wait, that was kind of awesome. That's gonna give somebody a seizure. Um, okay, so it does what it wants. It does what it's supposed to. Let me go ahead and set this to 2. Um, I gotta, I gotta do it again. It's so bad. What if, wait, okay, what if we have that with the, hey, where's my, uh, oh, yeah, 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 scale change. Let's, let's set the scale change to zero point 0.1. It's gonna be stupid. Just want to see. No, it's not doing it. Oh, that's because it sets it statically in there. Okay. One, one, one. I like that though. It's kind of goofy. Okay, this shouldn't be that entertaining. Get it together. Set this to 2, save it, and make sure that it's not defaulting to 0. Lerp duration equals 2.0 f. So, I'm realizing that these don't need their own line. So let me just put this all in one here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So give me my bounds as this one. Um, Position change. So there's position change and there's position change speed. Hi, Pairbender. How's it going, man? There's position change and there's position change speed. What have I done? What is this? Okay, awesome. We got the colors changing, so what happens if I change the speed to 10? Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. And 1, uh-huh. So, what about this? What if I change this to 2? Curious about my experience learning Unity? Well, you're getting in while we're starting up here, man. I'm starting pretty low right now. Let me give you a quick rundown here. In case you don't know, um, Unity has these learning pathways where they will walk you through basically their own tutorials that they've created. It has been 4 months. Kinda. We'll say off and on. I started a while ago and I went through the whole Unity Essentials and then I kind of fell off because I got really busy with some stuff and now I'm picking it back up and I decided to do it on stream. Um, but if you don't know, they've got all these pathways with their own tutorials that they made and they approve of, and they've been really helpful. So currently, what I'm doing is I'm just walking through those. Yeah, man, dude, and it's free too. That's one of the things that I really want to plug is free resources because I really believe that you should be able to get into game development as a passion for free without overly investing. Oh, really? Well, what do you do with your programming? Just web development. Yeah, that's definitely a little bit of a different beast. All the HTML and stuff. I'm honestly not super familiar with all of that, but yeah, I'm sure at the very least, I'm sure you understand how to code, right? Hey, thanks for the follow, Maddie. So let's see. Oh, yeah, I could have just checked down here. Transform position. So I noticed when I was running this, Games are tough for many reasons. A big one is just the sheer amount of time and dedication to finish one, but tools like Unity help, right? So from my understanding, and like I said, I'm pretty new to this, so my understanding is kind of light. Unity is more so just a platform for you to build the game on. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a tool to um, assist with like time management or to make it faster. It's kind of just like a platform that you need to actually build a tool. So you could use other things. I saw one of my viewers said he uses something called Game Engine. A friend of mine uses something called Godot. Those are different platforms, and they kind of come with their own resources that are required to use them. Um, so technically, I would say Unity does help with game development because it's kind of like a requirement to have some kind of platform there. Um, but yeah, I definitely know what you mean that games are tough. Yeah, man, I'm sure if you had to build an engine from scratch, that would suck. Like to be honest, I wouldn't even know where to start from there. So yeah, having an engine and a platform already set up for you, yeah, you're probably right. It would save a ton of time. Um, you're definitely right with game making being tough because as I was looking into this, I don't know why it didn't occur to me that games aren't just code. There's other things in them like the 3D modeling, which is huge. Got to figure out Blender here sooner or later. There's the code, of course. There's the learning how to use all those tools in and of itself is a pain. But then there's also the the after components, like what do you do once you've built your game? How do you market it? How do you put it on platforms for sale? How do how do you distribute it? How do you make sure you can distribute updates if necessary? So yeah, it's big. I'm definitely trying to go through all of them as I can. Yeah, actually, no, that's a good point because I'm working on a project with a friend of mine where it's just a flat puzzle game, like tile-based movement, and it's pretty light in the art department. We literally just pulled some PNGs that we found and liked. I made a pixel art tile map for it, which was pretty fun to learn. But yeah, like here's our example. This this has been pretty light so far, and we're definitely nowhere near done. But you know, it was something to get here. It definitely took probably too many hours to get where we are, but this is what we got. We got my pixel art wood in the background. That yeah, Verity, I agree. I'm definitely trying to start small. I've actually got yeah that we're well right now it just looks like a sliding triangle, but yeah, we're gonna set it up for a puzzle game where there's like obstacles and stuff and a goal. But this was a collective of how much effort it took to just get that going. Um, yeah, it's cool. We're probably just gonna make it either as practice or maybe like a little phone game or something. I'm not sure, but I've got an entire. Oh, and I totally forgot about my lo-fi music in the background. We'll get back to that. I've got an entire list of just small games like I like these like Pong. Pretty much everybody knows Pong. You got the two panels. You hit a ball, try to get it in the other person's goal. It's a small game that you know how it works, so you should know what the end goal is. It kind of takes the creativity away from it because you're kind of trying to do it as a goal. So like Verity says, making small games is a good way to learn. If you're making something that you know how it should work, you give the opportunity to yourself to say, I have done it this way, but it's supposed to be this way. What do I do to get it that way? And you have a huge opportunity to you know, learn how they made their other games. Simple puzzle game, not using any engine, because there weren't really any good ones. If I tried again, I would want to pick up Unity or something else. I want to do a game jam. Yeah, hell yeah. That's another great way to learn that I have heard about is these game jams. Sometimes when people they get exposed to new communities, which is also what I'm doing here on Twitch, is trying to expose myself to a community of people who understand. When you expose yourself to communities and you put yourself in situations where you have to perform, sometimes trial by fire and learning by doing, they're just really the best ways to start picking up skills. Um, it's definitely it's not necessarily you don't learn so well by watching, but learning by doing feels so much more effective. Um, So I definitely recommend, if you're actually interested in it, you just got to pick it up. Like, you just got to pick it up and try. Well, I liked that little sidetrack here, but let's see. What were we doing? Take a breather. I think next was position. We want to change position. Oh, wait, opacity too. Someone with a lot of experience programming, not so much game dev, is to be aware of people telling you don't use X tool or X editor, you're doing it wrong. Those people are usually just newbies. Yeah, I can respect that. The main reason that I have the tools selected that I do, like, I'm not sure if you saw my desktop real quick. I've got, for streaming, I've got OBS. For sound, whenever I get into learning that, I've got Audacity, and for modeling, I've got Blender. The main reason that I have these tools is because they're free. I have watched people do modeling with things like Maya. I know you have to pay for Maya. I'm definitely not going to say, oh, don't use that. I'm definitely not going to say, oh, I won't be using that, so I don't care. Whatever tool you can get your hands on and whatever tool you can learn with and be proficient with, definitely recommend. Go away. So, let's check opacity. I had something in here for opacity that I took out. Just making progress and feeling motivated. Yeah, feeling motivated is huge. It can be very difficult without motivators. That's part of the other reason that I recommend involving yourself with a community, is because there's some level of accountability that you're forcing yourself into by having others who expect you to be part of the community. Like, if I come in here and set up my Twitch and do all this stuff and I stream 2 times and I'm like, yeah, big on game development. And then everybody who comes in here and follows, even all these people who have just popped in today, are like, hey man, where you at? Like, there's some accountability for me to be like, oh yeah, I gotta stick to that. Like, feeling motivated is huge. I think it's just encouraging to make small goals and meet them. Because, like, if I come in here to this pathway and I'm like, hey, I'll give myself some time to complete this one task. It recommends 30 minutes. I have spent probably 4-5 hours on this, but it's not going to discourage me because I keep making small goals and meeting them. Have any tips for me designing games and coming up with fun rules? I struggle with creativity. To be honest, coming up with something from scratch might be too difficult when starting. I'm starting myself. I don't have too many original ideas. I mean, I have some grand ideas for, oh, this game would be so cool, even though I know I'm nowhere near the level of being able to make that, especially on my own. Right, so maybe not copy, but you can put a spin on it, put a spin on something. You know that old joke about, like, copy my homework but change it a little so the teacher doesn't know? Yeah, well, if you go and find some old games that worked, that were popular, that maybe even hold some nostalgia for people, and you remake it, maybe put some different art on it, maybe add a mechanic or two, something that you thought was cool when you played the game. You can use somebody else's creativity as inspiration. If you feel like you need to give credit, I definitely encourage that. Trying to make a card game that I would maybe turn into a video game, bro, absolutely. And that's one of those ones that's kind of simple to make because there's not a whole lot of motion. So you don't always have to worry about, like, oh, my character is moving and clipping in weird ways that they shouldn't, and I have no idea how to solve it. Cards they're pretty easy. You design them, you figure out how you can get them to interact with your game, and you run with it. But, it's taking something like this pathway for mod the cube here. It says change the cube's location, change the cube's scale, change the angle that it rotates, its speed, its color, and its opacity. I could have done those at face value and just said, okay, you're a new color now. But I took the time to say, how can I get this color to change over time? How can I make it so that it's a little more active? And while I was doing this, I was just following the pathway, but while I was doing this, I started moving my cube around and scaling it, and I was looking at it, and I was like, yo, this reminds me of those old screensavers with the stupid stuff bouncing all around, or like the DVD, and everybody goes crazy when it hits a corner perfectly. So that's what I started trying to design. So the creativity kind of came as I was doing it. That's another good thing to keep in mind, is like, you don't have to run with a fully formed idea as soon as you start. You can work on things as you go. So I was like, oh, you know what? That's my new goal now, is to set this as something like a screensaver. So let me see what goes into that. So yeah, that's definitely the long drawn out story of how I turned a 30-minute project into several hours. But here we are. And the next thing for this project is, it said opacity, and I had that in here. I don't really know how much I care about it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now, is I'm just trying to take this learning opportunity that it has given me and blow it up into more things that I can figure out for myself. Yeah, I actually don't think I care about the opacity. I really like the color change as it is, and I think the opacity change is gonna mess with that a little too much. So yeah, I think then the next thing that I want to try to accomplish is the transformation, because currently it's just bouncing in this diagonal line. I know why, I just don't quite know. Yeah, so what I did is, the box that it's bouncing around is invisible, um, and it's set here in code, because what I did was, I had set bounds where as the cube is moving, once it hits a certain X or certain Y, it's gonna stop moving in that direction and move another direction. Um, and this is actually a good segue into figuring out what I need to change here, because the way that I have it set is, originally it was just going up and down, which is why I had it set this way, but as soon as it hits a limit, it changes to negative. So it goes in one direction until it hits that limit, and then it stops, and then it just goes the other direction. And I have it going in two directions, an X and a Y, which is why it's just moving along that same diagonal line. But what I want it to do is hit something and then bounce away. That might be a little more complicated than I'm thinking. I might be overcomplicating it in my head, but I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, Unity does have built-in physics. To be honest, I don't know if I would want to use the physics for this bouncing, but I probably should. It's kind of like that saying, there's, oh gosh, what is it? Something about there's more than one way to skin some animal, whatever. There's more than one way to do things here. I'm trying to do it through code right now, but yeah, you could probably use something like physics. I could probably build some kind of invisible or visible box, give it some kind of collider. You could just reverse the velocity instead of moving the position. That's true. No, I know what you mean. Like if it's heading a direction, just change the direction of that force instead of making it move along defined points. Good point. Right. You know, if I throw a tennis ball at a wall, it doesn't come back the same direction that I threw it. It kind of goes where it wants to. Sort of. Well, now you've made me think. Do I want to do this through code, or do I want to do it through physics? And so here we run into an interesting snag, is what is the way that I should accomplish my goal? that one can be kind of tough because when you're learning, it's like, well, shit, what do I do? So you've made me think now. Should I do this through physics? Should I do it through code? I think I do want to stick through code purely for the reason that the pathway assignment was intending to do it all through code. What is the most interesting thing we can do in our time? I don't think I understand that one. What can we code quickly that will be the most interesting? Yeah, I can kind of see that. Well, I will say this. Sometimes it kind of explodes into more than you're anticipating. Because, you know, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but with this mod the cube, it gave me some pretty simple instructions. And I took it the wrong way. I definitely made this much bigger than I intended. So while you might have a concept that is, in theory, quick to code, it might turn into a lot more than you're expecting. And that's kind of how you get into those moments where you're like, oh, well, I would like to do this, but how do I do that? So I can see it, the intention to want to try to do something quickly, but I really think that it's kind of one of those best laid plans of mice and men will probably fall apart. Let's go ahead and try to figure out the translation. So I do know that I need to use the bounding boxes. You know what? I actually don't want to delete all that. Come on. There we go. I want to remove these. Just these. Because I need the bounds. If the position gets lower than the lower bound or higher than the upper bound, lower than the lower bound or higher than the upper bound, then I need it to do X. Same goes for the Y. If it gets lower than the Y lower bound or higher than the Y upper bound, I need it to do X. Well, that was what I had before. I had it in here where whatever it was going to would just become negative. And then I did that also for the Y, and that was how I got it to move along the that diagonal. You say negate the X. Well, I think what I want is somewhat of a randomness, because I want it to... Well, do I? No, hang on. Might be onto something. I think what needs to happen... I think what needs to happen is... when the X hits an upper bound, it basically needs to flip over the Y. So the X still does need to go to negative, but... What is position change? So this is a variable that I had set earlier where it's just a vector that's moving it along X and Y. I'm kind of wondering if the starting position is just what's causing it to be in a weird spot. So what if I try changing this to... Well, that's on Z. What if I don't start at 0, 0? What if I started at 5, 0? What happens? Does it move different? No. So what do I need to get it to do? I think I started to have that idea where once the X gets to its limit, like if it's... Ah, shit. What if we first try to make the cube move only in 2D? I mean, it kind of is, based on the perspective here. It kind of is. If I changed it to 2D, you can see the game view doesn't really change. It's still basically doing the same thing. And actually, originally, I did do this. I set it over to 2D because I was getting confused. Actually, let me demonstrate it like this. If I look in the 3D and I come to the side, what's actually happening... Right, it looks like it's moving along 2 axes. Okay, this looks bad. This looks bad. But what was happening was it used to be going away from the screen and coming towards the screen. And that created some interesting perspective with the scaling, because sometimes it would be really, really small and it would bounce from like here as opposed to here. So I did change it to 2D for the purposes of, like you said, moving it along 2 axes, and it is. I just need to... Basically what I am trying to figure out right now is how to get it to move in a different direction as soon as it hits the bound. The answer is what direction? The plane it's moving in is not aligned with the camera. So let's see. The camera is looking... okay. Never done that one before, but sure. The camera's X and Y are not aligned with the world's X and Y, which is why it has a 3D perspective. To be honest, I don't actually know. Okay, that's weird too. It's just frozen. Well, let's try this. That's true. So what I know is they have local and global axes here. Local is kind of the perspective of itself, whereas the global is the... Wow, somehow it has forced itself out of the camera view. That's interesting. We'll give it some help here. The main camera is here. How do I show the world axes, actually? I know... Clicking all the wrong things. I know... Actually, I do think it is. There's these. Camera. View. Wow, I got really far away. Wait, what's it? D? No? I forget the key. Well, I guess I need to figure out how to show the world axes. I think nothing's really changing here. Oh. It was the local and the global. So, yeah. There's our example. We can see that with local on, how the axes are moving. this green one is the x-axis. So when it's moving, it's changing with the object because it's local to the game object. Versus if I set it to global, it's never going to change from anything outside the global axes, no matter how it turns. So say in this moment, if I change the y-axis, no, this is the x. I'm sorry. I guess I got the colors confused. If I change the x-axis globally, we can see that only the x is changing here, and when I'm moving it, it moves along the axes of the world. Versus if I come and change it to local, because it's been rotated, this x-axis, which is this red, it's definitely changing differently. Not only is it moving all of these other numbers in addition to the x, it moves differently. Like whereas before it was kind of just sliding left and right, this one from the 3D perspective, it's kind of coming out as it's sliding. So we use these axes off of the objects. I don't think there's necessarily a like way to have x and y show up on the screen. Could probably do some kind of grid. I really don't know how, to be honest. So what you could do is move it along the world axes. Yes, actually, there was something. Oh, I just read the article literally on a stream. Local and world. I gotta look it up. That's too late. I think it's these. That was for the scale. But maybe something similar can apply. Because it was saying you could do a modifier or a property, local scale versus, what was the other one? Dang it, man. Let's go versus global scale. Ah, come on. Yeah, man. Lossy scale. No. Lossy. Maybe I... Global scale parent. Well, that's gonna drive me crazy for a little bit, but... let's see what we can find. World space. That rings a bell, but... did I put anything in here? I don't think I did. Well, that's okay. Let me focus on changing the directions, because I think what needs to happen is if the X is moving and it's not at its bound, but it hits the Y bound, the X needs to keep going. I'm so confused. I feel like it should be working, but it's... okay. I think I see here. So, for example, when this is playing, if this... and let me just make it a little more obvious. obvious by moving to like here. When it's running, it hit the corner. When it's running, no. It hits the here. It hits the X bound, and what happens is the Y also reverses when it hits the X bound, but it doesn't need to. It needs to only reverse when it hits the Y bound. So, and then like down here, it hits the Y bound, but the X reverses also. The X needs to be able to keep going while the Y is the one that's reversed. So the question is, why? Because what's supposed to happen, that's why. Because they're on the same variable. So, okay, so let's break it into two variables. Position change X and position change Y. So this one needs to be OOF. And we're just going to copy this. Put this here. But instead, this one needs to be 1OF and OOF. It doesn't like this. It does not exist in the current context. A position change. Okay, so what we need to do is duplicate this. Copy, and we'll set one as X and one as Y. Actually set it as Y. So now, moving positions. Transform position equals this. No, wait, transform position is this. Getting a little fuzzy. So we'll need to add the X's to the X-bound ones and the Y's to the Y-bound ones. But this one. Transform position equals new vector 3, 5, 0, 10. This is its starting location. Transform position. Is this being used by anything else? Isn't this transform position and the position change doing the same thing? I think what needs to happen is we want it to start from a different location every single time. So let me put a pause on this one. And let's just see what happens with that not on. Okay. Kind of explains it. But then, shoot, then I need to figure out how to get it to work with this. So when we're moving the position, transform.position equals transform.position plus position change times time times position change. So position change was the variable for the X and the Y that I had set here. let me just run it back, save, run it back to what it was when it was working. Position change equals new vector of this. So what was happening was when these were set in here as both, this was able to move both. I think what needs to happen is, this might be goofy, let me make sure it's got all the changes that I added. Okay, I think what needs to happen is just gonna recreate position change. Position change equals this as 1 and 1. What don't you like? Position change doesn't exist in the context. Okay, we're back. I think, whoops. I think I might have figured it out. So, what? Oh, I spelled it wrong. God, I'm really good at that. Position change. Position change. Okay. So, I think I figured out what the root of the issue was. It was that the reverse for the x and the y was set to the same variable. So whenever one would reverse, both would reverse. But what we actually wanted was when the y reaches its bound, it reverses. When the x reaches its bound, it reverses. We wanted them to be independent. So what I did was I created two different variables here, one for the x and one for the y. And I set it so that only the x changes when it hits an x bound and only the y changes when it hits a y bound. The issue that this created was because of the naming of the variables that I had in here, the one that was in there already, which was just called position change, not y or x, it had both the x and the y in there. And the portion that was responsible for actually moving both the x and the y no longer worked. So I basically added a y and an x and left the position change alone. I'm worried about them conflicting. So let's see what happens. Yeah, it didn't like that. Position change doesn't exist in the context. That doesn't make sense. Let me just try again. I think I just didn't save it. Well, now it's not respecting the bounds. Why? Did the bounds get reset? No, they're still in here. Why won't it respect the bounds now? I think I see. It's because since this one is responsible for actually moving it, it doesn't matter if this one gets shifted to positive or negative because it's not impacting the direction that it's moving. So, do I need two transform positions? Is that what's going on? I think so. So let's try this. I'm going to copy this line. I'm going to put it on another line, and I'm going to have one for x and one for y. Let's see. Yes! Yeah, so what was happening was when it was negating, or when it was I guess that's the best word for it. When it was switching to negative, when it was switching between negative and positive, this variable, which was set for the x bounds, and this variable, which was set for the y bounds, they were the same variable. So whenever one would switch, the other would switch, which was meaning if it hit either an x or y variable, both the x and y direction would switch, regardless of if it had hit both of the bounds. It would hit only one of the bounds and then flip both directions. So it was just moving in the diagonal line. I had to split them so that they were their own variables, so that each axis was responsible for itself. But I think you can do position change.x equals negative position change.x instead of making two variables. I think I see what you mean. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so stop. Let me do this. Hold on to that there. And then let's just go back to the other version. I think this is right. Yeah. So you're saying, instead of making it two variables, try... you're saying use the property of it. Position change dot x equals negative position change dot x. Shit. Let's find out. Yeah, if you're right, I'm gonna cry a little bit. Well, if that doesn't show how green I am with code, then I don't know what else would. Now let's add Z. Oh, God. You want a Z bound? For what purpose, though? I mean, it bounces around the screen. We don't need it to go back. I mean, the scaling kind of handles that a little bit by making it larger and smaller, which is probably what the Z would do. I mean, kind of. Yeah, you can see it's just moving its X's and Y's. Its Z is stationary. But do we need it 3D? Oh, that was weird. But we could move it around in a box by adding one more dimension. Oh, you're saying, like, instead of letting it move on a plane, just actually have it bounce around a whole box. I guess at this point it doesn't seem like it would be too difficult to add, as long as it stops doing that. What is happening? What is happening? Its y is above 5, which is the upper bound, and it's doing nothing. Huh. And there it goes. Okay. We're gonna put a pin in that one. Yeah, I like it like this. Let's just see what happens when we add Z. I think probably just add one of these lines, huh? Well, okay, two things. One, allow the Z to move, which affects the transform position. Copy one of these guys. Oh yeah, add 2 bounds. What did I just do? Copy this. Put it inside this. Okay, I must have pasted it in the wrong position. Z. A lot of Z's. We're not sleeping. And directionally define the bounds as two vectors too. I think I see. Hang on. I gotta logic this in my brain real quick. So instead of a float, set it as a vector. Okay, you're right. One thing at a time. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, what are... Well, I guess if it's supposed to be a box, we'll do the same as y. Upper bound 5, lower bound -5. Pressing the wrong buttons. Might help to visualize the bounds with the plane, but I don't know how to do that. Yeah, I was a little bit fuzzy on that myself. I kind of just want to see what happens. And we might... Yeah, it's doing it. Right, it is kind of hard to see what's happening. I think we'll change the camera perspective. Yeah, it doesn't look right on the 2D because it kind of just changes the size. But let's here, let's do this. Let me move you to like our top. Yeah, let's just do the absolute top bounds, which is minus 9.25, 5, 5. So if this is the absolute top bound, we can see our cube here. Yeah, that's true. It was just that part of the mod the cube was to change its scaling. So it's just in there as practice, pretty much. Right. So with the cube, now we'll put it all the way to the lower bound. Actually, that is the x lower bound. Yeah, that's true. 9.25. Put a pin in that for a second here. So all the way from the upper bound to the lower bound, we would want to do this then. So I'm gonna try to remember that shortcut from the video. Game object. Camera. Game object. Align with view. Nice. Okay, let's see what this looks like. It looks funny. It's not really moving in the Z. Oh, because the script sets it stationary at 10. Yeah, let's just 0, 0, 0. Okay, now we'll try it. There we go. No, it's staying at 0. Sus. The Z was staying at 0 because I had forgotten to actually change the vector to 1. It was still on 0, so it wasn't moving its Z at all. Now let's try it. There it goes. So now, if we just pretty much build a little box, we'll have some nice perspective for something that it's hitting. So I guess we'll use this plane. set this to minus 9.25 and the others to 0 with a rotation of 90. Okay, where's my cube? Can you make the planes transparent so it doesn't block our view? That one I don't know how to do off the top of my head. Let me try minus 5 point. No, okay. Actually, how big is the cube? The cube's scale is 1. What does it max out at? Isn't it 2? So set the background with minus 7. Oops. We could just leave the front face of the box open so we can see inside, right? I don't actually know how to make a hollow square right now. I was just gonna build it with 3 different planes. Is that a bad idea? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, let's see here then. So we want to set this plane to minus 7 to accommodate the maximum size of the cube. This one to minus 11. And then because this is a plane, we don't need to set the Z here, but I do need another one. Wait. Is it a plane? Yeah, what's the scale? 100. I guess I needed 100 for some reason. There, I guess now it looks a little less ridiculous. So scale 50, 50, and we don't want to change the Z because that will make it a actual box. Am I crazy? I must be. Yeah, I guess no, it won't make it a box because it's a plane. God, that's huge. Okay, 20? There, sure. Now. Set this to... Change the rotation on the Y to 90. No? See? There we go. Now this needs to be at... Wow, she's a thick boy. We'll do this at minus 11.25. No, we won't. To make it like a back wall. Let's just manually do it then. Yeah, I think I'm struggling like in my brain. Let's see what happens. Is the position of the plane the center of it? I think it is, but I'm not 100% on this one. Let me see. It's so hard to tell perspective because of the shading of it. Bonk. Sure, that bonked. Yeah, I know, I'm right there with you. Okay. Shit. Oh, what did I do? Press some button. Let's make all the planes 10 by 10 by 10 and then position them at 5 and 5. Works for me. That rotation. 10, 10, 10. Dude, I'm a dumbass. This one's a cube. It's not a plane. I used the cube to block the cube. 10, 10, 10. 5. Oh, that was rotation. 5. Minus 5. Okay, that's on the roof, so 5. That made it taller? Okay. And it's invisible from the other side? Huh. There we go. That's rotation, dude. Get it together. Okay. I might give up on the Z. Where do we move to? Oh, well, it did kind of it hit it. Let's make this 7 then. Let's raise this one up. Okay. What if we just make a huge box and could put the camera inside of it? I was thinking about that, but I'm worried about, are the cubes hollow? Cube. Let's see. Fighting a sneeze right now. Okay. Just for the memes of it, let's set this. Oh my god, why is it so far away? Get over here. It's... You can see in it, but it doesn't show the faces. They're transparent. Show faces on both sides. Yeah, not sure 100% on that one. Let's see. Show Unity, show faces inside cube. It seems to want to do that in a modeling program. I don't know if Unity has the capability to do that. Oh, okay. Create a new material. Call it faces. Oh, change the shader on the material. Well, I found this interesting one that says render face. Do we think? Let me see. Faces. Render face. Set. Change the shader to universal render pipeline. I know I've seen that before. It already was. Just saw it. Oh, hey, yeah, there it is. Universal render pipeline. Oh. In the materials inspector. Advanced settings. Set cull mode to front. Oh, I don't think I went to the right place. This. Oh. Is that right? Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't sound right. Should be a UI thing. I see advanced options in the material inspector. Inspector, material. Scroll to advanced settings. Set cull mode to front. Alpha, click no. Surface type, render face. I kind of think it's just this. Yeah, I kind of think it's just this render face. Let's just try both and go to the camera scene. Yeah, that's what it is. So it must have changed to render face. Okay, that's not so bad now. So you go away and... Oh, where's my camera? Oh, now we just have to position the box in the right place. So, camera sees outside. Let me just run this and see where the cube bounces and if it goes through. That looked good. That almost looked good. I think it just needs to be a little... Oh, you know what? Goodbye. It does look like it's hitting them. Need to align it with the bounds in my code. That's true. I don't know how to see the location of the actual faces, though. I guess I could just math it out. It looks like it's hitting most of it. Oh, except for that top part. Yeah, it's just a little bit too big. So... if it's at 0, 0, 0, it needs to reach 11. Let's try 11.25. And, well, that didn't work. 20 was close. Maybe take off the shared scale. The bounds are not you. Get out of here. Oh, it's not set in the code. It's set in the inspector. You can go away too. We'll call this cube. Room. Cube. Bounds 9.25 and some 5s. I would think that it was going to be, oh, I got lost. Where am I? I was outside the cube. Let me squeeze myself into the corner. Oh! Can I change this? Does this help? No. If the cube is 20-20-20, shouldn't the bounds just be... Oh, you're... Dude, what am I on about? Instead of making the cube fit the bounds, make the bounds fit the cube. Game object. Align with you. It goes out of frame of the camera. I don't know if there's a better way to do that. That one's tough. It's like, it's working, like got the camera set, can see some of the walls, but it's, the camera perspective is weird. It also keeps going slightly outside of these. So let me try this. It's a frustum. Well, let's see. Camera. Projection. What about this? Oh! No, that would just basically show a cube inside of a cube. Orthographic will work. At the front of the room. Oh, so you mean instead of like a corner view, let's see. 0, 0, no, 0, 0. Come back till we're inside the cube, and now come over. Can I think up and down is Y, so 2 scale? Oh, it doesn't like that? Yeah, I was just thinking that because I was seeing it move around in the frames that it comes up, and it kind of loses the 3D effect. Okay, back. The other thing that I want to do, cube. Let me set the bounds to less. 8, 8, 8, 8. Not that. 5. 8. Minus 8. Minus 8. It didn't really work. What kind of camera view do I want? I don't know. What are you doing? It's stuck again. Wow. Yeah, it's gonna slightly... Well, I was trying to compensate for it clipping... Hey, it stopped rotating. No, it didn't. There it goes. I was trying to compensate for it clipping through the wall by making the bounds slightly inside the cube, so even though it looks kind of like it's bouncing off something invisible sometimes, it prevents the clipping. It's for immersion. It, like, works. Sometimes it just goes out of frame because of the camera being funky. Could Yeah, I was thinking maybe just skip Z, go back to ortho camera. Just want to see something. Uh, what if I do? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Like this. Set the view. It doesn't like that. What if I go a little deeper in? Try setting the camera with numbers. Whoa. Okay, let's try, it gets closer, but it's... I think I just want to use these. Set all rotations to 0. Oh. And... So this is kind of how it comes out. The camera view only sees like half the box. We could probably just change the bounds to fit the camera, but I want to know how to change this camera scale. Let's just do it. Size? Ah. Position of the camera is wrong? Like what, not on one of the faces? You want to try to do it in a corner? Look at the numbers. Well, I mean... 0, 0, minus 10. I guess that works. It's like right in the right in the face of the box. Oh, it's actually slightly outside. Let me oh, that's light. I'm gonna do like minus 9.8. Because the room is a screen and the cube is a rectangle, right? Hey Froggy. Unsure. I wish matching the aspect ratio of your window. Yeah, I mean, they're thinking making the bounds to fit the camera. Because I see I can change the size of the camera, but I don't know that I can change the like shape or scale. Oh, like you said, the aspect ratio. So Oh yeah, you're probably right. Make my window a square. Oh hey. Yeah, yeah. I just saw it. Um, that's something. Oh, oh, ruining it all. Can I do scale? Ah, no. Um, free aspect, but I want to like this. No. Make the room a 16 by 9. Yeah, that might just be the easiest. Everything's so cooked. So your cube is currently 20 by 20 by 20, correct? Just make it 16 by 9 by 9. Genius. Thinking about things that I am not. Let's try 16. Maybe the wrong 16. 9. Also wrong. Let me do this. Lock this. New inspector. Not what I wanted. Over here. Other one. Cube. Not cube. Room. Oh, I think I need to reverse it. So lock the room, click the camera so I can see the bounds. Now let's try this. Oops. 17. 18. Oh, 18. 20. Not 120. Oh, you know, that's kind of just because of the scale of this too. I bet if I set it back to 5 and then this to 16. Oh, it's close. It was working like this, so we'll just leave it like this. But we'll lower this to 11 seems to be a close fit. And then this one, also 11. No! What? Now it's just clipping in and out of the box. 20. I guess this one doesn't matter because of the camera view. So we'll just scale this to 5.8. No? Oh, that's the camera. Sorry, I want to go down. 6. That kind of works. And now, redo the bounds of the cube to be it goes way too far down. Only a little too far up. So change the Y's to, is it 6? Oh, sorry, buddy. Yoink. Low bounce, high bounce. So we'll go with 5. Well, based on the math, the limit should be 5.5. So let's just try 4.5. I think it clipped inside the camera. So the Z 4.5. Let's also try minus 4.5. See what happens. Yo, you gotta stop clipping in the camera. That's so funny. Cube. Like. Oh no, it's not gonna work there. So he's gonna have to be like 8. What perspective is the camera facing? With Y up and X to the right. Okay. Or X flat, Y vertical. So then on the cube, the Y is going to be shorter than the X. The X is going to be okay, it's bouncing too soon. So let's try 10. Too far left. 9. Just a bit inside, so let's try like 9.5. Still inside. GPT says the room should be at 11.5. Where I have 11. That works. That X is still just a bit off. I think I should just go back to 9. Yeah. Alright. You know what? I think I know what's partly playing into it. I think the scaling needs to stop, since it's gonna be 2D like that. Oh, fuck me. I totally forgot changes don't save whenever you're in in-game mode. Yeah, the scaling of the cube object needs to stop. We'll run it back. Goodbye, planes. We can still see the inside of the cube. Yes. The camera, we're gonna set to ortho. Size was 5.6. No rotations. We're gonna start at the zeros and come out to minus 9.9. The size of the, well, this is changing how big the camera sees, because when I change it to like 8, see, it gets a lot bigger. It shows a lot more of an area. What else did we do? We changed the scale of this. We flattened this to like 11.5. Oh shit. Is that how it was? Camera? Yeah, that fits. And then we had to change the bounds. This one was actually called room. We had to change the bounds of the cube to, and you said it should be on Y 5.75 and minus 5.75, as well as the others just being 10 and 10. 10 minus 10. C. C doesn't matter too much, but we'll go with 10s. And then we'll pop into the script and hold the scale change. Oh. Okay, save, minimize. Let's see what we ended up with. Make sure that the bouncing is right. Bonk. Okay, little bit too big on the bounds. Holy shit! What? What is still scaling the cube? It's just getting bigger. This. Let's try again. Wait. Just gonna get rid of everything related to scale. Just to be on the safe side. Just gonna break out of the box. True. Well, the only thing is, I don't think I could get it to transition between the two colors. Yeah, I think it's because the bounds are slightly off. So let me try to adjust to upper bound 9, lower bound 9. That's better on X, but let's try like 9.3. That was good. A little far. Try 9.2. That looks good. Ah, of course a bot has to come and ruin all the fun. Bot. Eight. All right. Back to this. Why did it stop? We broke it? Oh god, and I forgot about changing the bounds. Okay. Let me think. So we set these to 9.25. Not that. 9.25 minus 9.25. Okay, and then Y is a little too big. Yeah, okay, it hits the X pretty good. So next Y, it says 5.75, but it's going slightly out of frame. Just by a little bit. Let's try 9.25 or 5.25. Can we set the bouncing cube rotation to 0? We don't want it to rotate? It still just goes slightly out. Is it rotating dynamically? Oh, I think it's hitting good bounds now. Or does it just stay at one tilt? Yeah, it does constantly rotate. We can change the rotation speed. 200. That's cool. I kind of like it that high, actually. I thought it was like chill when it was going nice and slow, but that's kind of cool. Okay, we gotta leave it this way, but we gotta remember 5.1 on the Y bounds and 9.25. Is it moving its Z? It should be. Yeah, it is. Oh, but I have Z bounds set in here, don't I? It's 10 and negative 10. It's not even getting anywhere close to those. No, I know, but we should still be seeing it get a little bit smaller, right? Because it's moving towards the Z? Well, here, let's just try this. You don't think so? Oh, that's the point of the ortho. Oh, I put it outside the box. I forgot the box has a limit. I think. Oh, it's at the box. What if I set this to scale at 200? Oh, long boy. Okay, just for testing purposes. And now cube 20. It definitely doesn't look any bigger or smaller. I think you might be right. Oh, and now it's grinding. Okay, sick. I mean, this is chill. Make the camera perspective again, but see the far clip plane to the back of the room. Far clip plane. I see. So it's not like infinite. It does stop at a point. Okay. Please don't explode, camera. Oh, yeah, no, good call, good call. So first things first, let me go ahead and reset the bounds, which was... I forgot the bounds. I forgot the bounds. Okay, rotation speed was 200. We're just gonna try 9.25, because I think that's what it was. So the cube scale Z is 20, correct? Or the room scale is 20. That means the back of the room is at Z equals minus 10. It should be, if the math is mathing. Which we already have our Z bound set there. So set the far clip plane to minus 10. Camera, perspective, far clip plane to minus 10. Oh, that ain't right. What about just regular 10? I think it's just regular 10. Mm, 20? It actually... It's kind of right, though. Although 1,000 doesn't really make much of a difference, too, because we have the cube blocking it. So then, out of curiosity, if we set the bar plane to 20, and then stretch that cube 200. Oh, that's funny. It just, like, cuts it off. Okay, I mean, that's cool to know. Change the near, too. Okay. Let's try, like, one. Oh, I did 0.01. Here, we'll put the room. Don't worry about it. I'll put it back. I'll put it back. Okay. Near to... What happens if we set it to 10? It's just an offset, huh? Yeah. That's cool. Definitely an interesting shape. Yeah, I was just thinking that. So if we do the near to 10, which seems to encompass the size of the room, and then we just back that ass up. And change the far to, what, 40? Okay. Hang on. We are cooking. We are absolutely cooking right now. Field of view. 59. That's almost 58. Okay, that's all the way inside the cube. Or that's all the way inside the room. Yo. Yeah. It's all coming together. Actually, I think this only needs to be 30. Yeah, that's fine. Save. Now let's test the bounds. .1, just to make sure it doesn't get clipped through. Sick! Wait, no, we need to adjust the Z bounds. I don't think it's coming all the way to the camera screen. I'm confusing myself with all this extra crap here. So you go away. You come over here. I don't think we need to make... Yeah, I think it's the Z bounds of the cube. Well, it is coming close. I guess it just doesn't look like it. It does need a little bit more room. The bounds are just a little too short. So let's try 12. What isn't moving? So the Z bound should be like -10. It is at -10. What is stopping it? Yeah, I know. I'm trying to see that too. So its position is pretty much on the wall here, but in the camera, it looks like it's like in the center of the ceiling. Maybe that has to do with this, the spread of it. Well, because like, so the cube, if you look at the cube where it's placed like inside of here, it's pretty close to the wall. And if the camera face is pretty much supposed to be this wall, yeah, I think it is controlled by the field of view. So what happens if we turn it down to like, sure, let's try 30. And then, oh, but this cuts some things off here. Field of view axis. Huh? No. Right, so this leaves big portions of the room being cut off. So what if we adjust the near? Kinda. It just seems so far. Right, right. They are definitely going to be different. I'm thinking the perspective is kind of going to be forcing it to never look like it comes right up to the camera. Because I almost wonder if, because it has this face, it's keeping that away from the camera. So even if it comes and hits that face, you know, technically the camera's all the way back here, so it's never going to get that big. Because we can see it getting a little smaller when it moves, when it's moving away. And actually, I can keep a better track on this by doing this. I mean, to be honest, this is kind of solid. Looks pretty cool. Should I turn the scaling back on just to see what it does? Can you slow the spin down? Sure, let's go with 100. Slower? Stop doing that. Then? Oh god, it looks like it's barely moving. 50? Oh, that's chill. When the scaling is on, yes, but currently the scaling is not on. Because sometimes the cube don't look like a cube. I mean... Here, you know what? Boop. It's clipped out. Come on. Come back in. Please. Everybody's watching. Alright. Now we'll try. Oh, when you make it full screen, it changes the aspect ratio of the camera. Alright, we vibing. Oh, it's still on 200. Alright, fuck it. As long as we're here. Change the... Yeah, I was thinking of that. Oh, the color of the room over time too? Wow, what are you trying to smoke one? Like, you're trying to get trippy in here. Yeah, we could do that. So let's do this. Yeah. I put on some Pink Floyd, have that in the background. What am I trying to do? Create a script. And then color changer. All we should need is one, these. Two, oh, actually, I do need this also. Now I need these. I know those are yelling at me. That's because I need this. And next, I need this. I missed one. I need this. So, on start, it will set the color to a random color. You know what? Just to make it a little cooler here, let's make this duration between color changes a lot longer. Save this. Drop this color changer on you. Oh, it's running. Drop this color changer on you. Didn't do it. Put it over here then. All this extra garbage. Oh, I did put it on it twice. That's funny. We can choose to start the color. We'll just start with a lighter color. Never mind, I didn't want to save that. So we can save the lerp duration in here. Minimize. What do you look like now? Hang on. What's missing? These are changing. Oh, because I forgot to set the mesh renderer. And I even knew I needed to do that. Silly goose. Bonk. So now it should work. Oh shit. No, it's just one color. No, there it goes. It is taking a while though. Let's try to lower this. I just set it to the same thing. What if I lower this? That's kind of sick. Oh, when the cube turns the same color as the room though, that looks funky. What if we make the cube a little quicker? Sick. With the lo-fi music in the background. Alright. We're big chillin'. Let's commit some of these things here. Cube color switchers faster. Room color switchers fine. Save. You can change the lerp color so the cube always contrasts the room. Now that I have absolutely no idea how to do. It would have to know what color the room is. And then... Well, yeah, it did... Oh, you're saying, like, make the when the room is color A, the cube is color B. And, like, they... keep the room bluish and the cube reddish? No? Oh. New screensaver. Who dis? Oh, I see. Like you're saying, just a stagnant color. Well, no, not stagnant. Like a specified color set. Don't do that. What if I make the duration longer? Yeah, that 30-minute tutorial that took us 6 hours, killed it.
and now it's stuck in the wall. Maybe A minus. Alright, hang on. We're going to turn it real quick. We're going to turn it to epilepsy mode. This is a bad idea. No, okay, it looks stupid. Let's see. I think that could be possible. What we would probably have to do here is inside of the color changer. Yeah, so it would probably be whenever the cube hits one of the bounds, then the color of the room would have to change. So that instead of changing over time with this, it would probably just be whenever the cube hits one of its bounds. Right. Let me see. Because we would have to have the script, see the other game object, the cube. Whenever it sees it, it would have to also see the position change variable, or shit. I know it would have to be able to see the cube because it would need to be able to access when the cube changes its direction. And so basically every single time the cube changes the direction, it would change the color of the room. Send some kind of signal that happens in there, in this script. Because the problem with that would be is if something changes the color in this script, as long as this is applied to the cube, it would probably change the color of the cube. Can you just set the color of the room in this script? So, well, here's the thing. The way that Unity interprets the scripts that are attached to its objects is what's on the script. So if I take the same script that's applied to the cube and apply it to the room, they're going to be doing the same thing. So the room would probably start spinning and moving. So they would have to be in separated scripts where one can see the other script and sees certain actions from the other script. You know what? I think since this is just for funsies, we'll just chat GPT it.
Okay, let's see. Actually. There we go. Yeah, it does say use events. I see that. Update cube script with an event. Okay. I see. On cube bounce is a static event that the room can listen for. So where would it set bounce to true though? Oh, bounce to true. Yeah, dumbass. So that it sounds like on cube bounce invoke. This is all making a little bit of sense. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. What is on cube bounce? Is that the okay? Public static event action on cube bounce. Let me try this. Well, no. Let me just try to wing it here. So public static event in the cube script. We'll drop this in the bottom, and actually, I don't think I need this. We'll kill this. Doesn't like this already. Why? Public static event. Oh, but no. I have a feeling that this needs to be in there for that to stop being underlined. Oh, is it missing something? Using system, using Unity engine. Shit, let's just try it. What was it? Capital system. Huh. Yeah, how about that? So let's see. It's a system.action. Yeah, that makes sense. So it needs system, so it can do that. Kind of killed the random. Yeah, let me see here. Let me try this. Oops. Just remove using system. Change action to system.action. How does that work? What is that? Does that make it so that instead of applying it at all times by using it up here, it kind of pulls it for this individual action? Ah, cool. That's cool. That's really cool. Oh, you know, that kind of makes some more sense here, because I've seen some other things say Unity Engine dot something. That's cool. Okay, yeah. When you do have using system, it makes it so that you don't have to type system before anything inside system. Gotcha. But if that causes a conflict here, like, I suppose I could have used whatever Unity Engine dot random down here, or maybe
Then it broke random because there are 2 randoms. Gotcha. That adds a level of confusion, but yeah, I gotcha. But we'll see here, so... And it didn't know anymore. That's fair. So, if I had using system, and then specified this one, Unity engine dot random, it would have knew which one to pull. Because I, like, told it. Yeah, okay. What we're doing? We need to add a bounce equals true to all of my bounding areas. I know you don't understand what that is yet. You don't need to. You can just do invoke inside each one? Maybe I don't understand invoke then. What's this question mark? I'm gonna save this as a... I'm gonna save this for later. Can you explain all the yeah. Let's break it down. On cube bounce is the name of the event, declared earlier in the script with this. Got it. It's public, so the other things can see it. It's static, so that it's accessible without needing a reference to the cube object. That's good to know. It marks it as an event, meaning other scripts can subscribe or unsubscribe. And the action is a built-in C# delegate, like a function pointer, that takes no parameters and returns void. Okay, that one's weird, but I don't know. You can think of it like a list of methods that should be called whenever the event fires. Okay? Question mark. The null conditional operator. It checks if onCubeBounce is not null before calling it. Why would it be null? If nothing has subscribed to the event yet, it will be null. Calling the invoke on a null event will crash the game with null reference exception. So this is a safety net equivalent to this. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. So we need to subscribe to it with our room. Right. So this is what actually fires the event. Yeah, I think it was up here, because this is the room script, which it says bouncing cube dot on cube bounce. So we need to reference the name of the current script plus the on cube bounce. Yeah, subscribe to the bounce event. That makes sense. Invoke is what actually fires the event. It calls all methods that have subscribed to onCubeBounce, and in your case, the room color changer script is one of those subscribers. Right. Yeah, I'll change the name to the correct one in there. So whenever the cube hits a wall, this line saying, if anyone is listening for this event, tell them now. That's an interesting way to put it, but I like this. I like this breakdown. So, then just out of curiosity, why this in each line when it wants to do a Boolean with this and then invoke it once? Style? Alright. Put some swag on him, I guess. Save. And then the color changer. we're probably gonna get rid of this altogether, and just use what this one suggested. Ah, I see. So let's see. I think I understand here. With a boolean, it would avoid. Because every time we do invoke, it's going to send an event to the room which changes the colors. But this way, it kind of caps how many events it can send at once by temporarily setting it to true. I guess as long as it would... Since update works off of the frames, I guess as long as it doesn't occur within, like... Right. I guess as long as it doesn't occur, like, frame. So only if they... it covers it only if they hit the same wall in the same frame. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I wonder if it would crash if it tried to change the different colors at the same time. Maybe we should take the safe method. That was still within here. Right. I know you don't know what that is. Bounced equals true, and at the top bool bounced equals false. Bounced. Good. Yeah, that's kind of my goal, is to try to teach while I'm also learning. Yeah, that's really cool. I can tell that your experience is weighing in on what we're trying to do here. Okay, so by default, every single frame in the update, it's setting the bool bounced to false. Only when it hits one of these bounds, it's going to set bounce to true. And whenever bounced is true, it's going to invoke and tell the other script, hey, what you're looking for happened. So, that makes sense. It's safe that way. And it still kind of leaves room for, if it does do the double bounce, it'll change the colors really fast, which might be cool. So now we need this one. And I'm just going to throw this whole script not in there, in here, but I need to change this to color changer. I need to change this to just cube. And this to just cube. So. Oh, that's nice of it to put that in there. Cube dot on cube bounce, change color. Yes, okay. I was just gonna do this because I learned this one earlier. Color.hsv. It's just a random color picker. Gotcha. I think this should work then. Let's see. Don't need that anymore. I'm opening all the wrong things. So with room in the color changer script and cube, doesn't look like we need to set anything else. Let's see what happens. That's fucking nice. That's nice. Oh. What was that? Okay, I guess it's not without its bugs, but that was really funny. Oh, you're right. I wonder what it's gonna do when it's doing the sliding thing. Whenever it glitches out and gets stuck in the wall. Guess just gotta wait for it, but yeah, it's kind of cool, especially with the that's a little jarring, but here, let's make it more chill. We'll send it to our we'll send it to our 50 rotation. And if we wanted, we could even slow this down. Hmm. It's so weird how it does that sometimes. And then it just kills the color altogether. You think? Hmm. I wish, dang, I wish I had like set up something where there was like a UI or something to change all these options as like little buttons. That would be cool. But I guess just for the purposes of learning to do all this stuff, this is cool. This is fine. Um, huh. Well, at the very least, maybe we can do this. I think I'm gonna go a bit tired of learning. You know what? I think I'm right there with you. I think I'm about to close out stream here. It's been about 3.5 hours. Thanks, man. I'll see you around. If you're interested, I've got other medias like Discord is attached onto here. If you want to join, we can chat about stuff there, and if anybody else has joined, we can talk about some of these things. I'm probably gonna do this portion here to post it as a WebGL project. I don't know if it'll let anybody mess with it after that, but we can goof around with it, or figure out some other stuff with it another time. I'm probably gonna just put this on the back burner though, since everything I wanted to accomplish with this is done, and then I'm just gonna continue on with the learning pathways. But I'll keep this somewhere so we can mess with it and have some more fun with the mesmerizing color changes. Yeah, I think there is a lot to learn there, just based on transformations and getting. I mean, we did something completely unique to that learning pathway, which is making scripts talk to each other. That's awesome. Yeah, we did. Here, we'll do this. It's kind of funny. Maybe I can size it. There we go. Yeah, some good camera lessons. There was a lot to learn in this one. This was a good one. I really like this, and I really appreciate all the contributions and all the ideas. It kind of pushed everything to another level. That was really helpful. Thanks for coming in, man. Thanks for following. Hopefully I'll see you around. Yeah, right? Like all those old screensavers. Hell yeah. Making high school you proud, hopefully. Oh, that yellow was gross. Yeah, man. See ya. Well, if anybody else is still here chilling as well, I think with this I'm gonna call it here. Uh, More or less finished that learning pathway. Screwed around with a couple of other things. Not to recap again like I just did with Pairbender, but yeah, we learned a lot of things here. This was really cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the day. I might not stream tomorrow, but I probably will on Monday. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in. See y'all around.